So the PC we're going to be building for the next giveaway winner. This is the 19th PC that we've given away here on Twitch. First up, we got some CPU action. We got a Ryzen 7 5800 XT. Oh, I already messed it up. 5800 XT. I accidentally wrote X. I got to change that. This was a Micro Center bundle that I bought with an Asus Prime B550 Plus AC-HES. This was the ATX motherboard that came with the 5800 XT. And also included in that Micro Center bundle was a single stick, which is fine during Ramageddon. 16 gigs of DDR4 at 3200 megahertz. We got a little bundle right there. Little Micro Center bundle action. $370. Dude, that's crazy. That's how much the RAM is alone. $370 for a 5800 XT. 16 gigs of DDR4 and a B550 motherboard. That is pretty wild, man. $370. I mean, don't get me wrong. That price is still absolutely atrocious, but for 2026 standards, that's pretty good. I'll take it. I will definitely take it. I'm gonna show you the cooler. This, I have never used this before. They sent this to me like probably 2 years ago. This is an APNX AP1-V CPU cooler. APNX, they caught some heat maybe like a year or two ago. I've never used them. They sent this to me. I just never used it. But I'm specifically going with this cooler finally because of this like gunmetal color scheme. But yeah, we're using this cooler, which I've never used before, specifically for this color scheme. This is the color scheme of today's build, or at least that's going to be the attempt. I'm just going to show you right now, man. We got some cable extensions here, which are also that black and gunmetal color. This is the goal of the giveaway PC tonight. It's going to take us a little while to get this set up. Ew. These are only the cable combs that we have? Oh my god, that is gross. Hopefully I got some black combs here at the house. Hopefully I do. But yeah, this is the color scheme of the build. So this is supposed to match up. Hopefully it does. We got the black and the gunmetal, black and the gunmetal. That's the goal. That is the goal. Are you gonna finish the build today? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We also have an SSD. Again, we gotta keep the cost down a little bit because I was barely streaming. We just got a pretty budget Patriot 0.5 terabyte SSD, P310. Shout out to Valve for making 0.5 terabyte drives somewhat acceptable. Again, I mean, if they're selling it in a $1,000 PC, I can give it away for free. We got a Lee & Lee GB002. We actually use these all the time in the office. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this on a Twitch stream before. This is a very cool GPU SAC bracket that connects to your motherboard. So I'll show you guys how that works later tonight. For our power supply, this was just sitting on our shelf for a very long time. This is a Cooler Master MWE Gold 850 V3. This is way overkill than what we need for this build, but I just wanted to use it because it's been collecting dust. This is ATX 3.1. It's got the PCIe 5.1, etc. Solid power supply. And our graphics card, which I already showed you today, is an Asus Prime. Only the 8 gig, sorry, with the RX 9060 XT, but more importantly, aesthetic-wise, we got the Asus Prime version, which is going to look beautiful inside this build. We got like, it's mostly black with like some matte black action. It's going to look really good. But yeah, we got to keep the cost down for this next giveaway. Sorry. Hopefully the next one I can get you a little bit better of parts. But the star of the show tonight, and the reason I did this entire color scheme, is because of a brand new case. Like, reviews just got posted for this thing. Who knows what this is? This just went live like less than a week ago. I saw review videos coming out today for this. Who knows what this is? Anybody? You would have to be seriously in the loop. Okay, a couple people got it. This is the brand new. Oh my God, that looks so good. This is the Montech TG3. Shout out to like the 10 of you that said that. And this, no, it's not a Foifkin. This is why we're doing that color scheme. This is, it looks a little bit bright because of all the lights. This is a silver power supply basement. And again, the goal is to match like the black and the gray, the gunmetal color. That's the overall goal of this build. So I think between these three components, this is gonna look really, really good. Hopefully. But yeah, this is the Montech TG3. They just sent this out. It's got like this 360 mil fan assembly, like it's all one unit, just pre-installed right there. We got some reverse bladed fans, so they are intaking air. And then we got the one exhaust here. We got this very nice silver PSU basement. And the reason I said yes to taking this case and using it on a stream is the price. Did you guys see the price of this? The price of this is literally the whole reason why it's on my desk right now. Did you guys see? $60. It's on Amazon right now. I checked before I went live. It's on Amazon right now for $60. What? ATX, 4 pre-installed ARGB fans, beautiful PSU basement, $60. It's available right now. Kind of crazy. This is what the back looks like. First time seeing this. We definitely have a lot of depth here. Wow. Don't clip that. But we really do. Wow. That's the most depth I've seen in a really long time. Again, don't clip any of that, but very impressive depth. We have an ARGB hub down here, only ARGB. And then just everything looks pretty standard. We got a big enough power supply basement. We got USB 3.0, USB-C. Everything looks pretty standard here. Yeah, $60, man. That's the whole reason I agreed to check this out, man. Let us install our Ryzen 7 5800 XT, shall we? Micro Center has a 5800 X3D bundle. Yeah, I feel like I'm like actually slacking living next to Micro Center, and I don't have a 5800 X3D right now. I feel like I am not like fulfilling my obligation as a PC builder that lives near Micro Center and not getting that super high-end AM4, as high-end as AM4 goes, CPU. I need to get on that, man. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we only got one RAM ASMR today. Sorry we don't have two. We're gonna try and nail it down here with just one. We're gonna do our best. We got one shot at this. One shot. This is it, man. Dude, this is for all the marbles. We're gonna go and dude, I actually almost unslotted too. Muscle memory kicking in. We only got, oh dude, that's rough already, just prepping it to slot in there. Wow. This could be either, I'm gonna call it now. This is gonna be either really good or really bad. There is a lot of friction just getting the RAM to this point where it's not clicked in. There's a lot of friction right there. It's either gonna be really good or really bad. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. I know it wasn't loud, but that actually sounded amazing. 9? Dude, I kind of want to do it again. It just wasn't loud, but like the actual sound was really good. 8.9, dude, that was actually a really good one. I kind of want to do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I don't care. We're not gonna vote. I'm gonna do it one more time. See if I can get it louder. We can't do Thirsty Thursday without installing 2 RAM sticks. I'm gonna do it one more time. I wasn't prepared for it to be that quiet, but the actual sound of it was beautiful. All right, here we go. I'll get the mic a little closer. Oh, no. That user error. That one don't count. Hold on. One more time. That was user error. I didn't push it down the whole way. One more time. Yep, there it is. Dude, that's a good. Dude, that is a good RAM ASMR, man. Shout out to G-Skill. We need an SSD standoff and screw. I haven't installed an SSD standoff in quite a while. This is what they look like. Little tiny, this is what I need right now. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this. Little standoff and a tiny little SSD screw. Most motherboards these days do not require you to do both. Either the standoff is still installed, or it's like one of the little plastic clip things, or it's the whole heat shield right now. And here we also have options for the different sizes. So if you didn't already know, there are multiple sizes of SSDs. We got 20, sorry, I can't read this. 2242, 2260, 2280, and 22110. I don't even know how to say that. But there's different sizes of not just SSDs, but M.2, just M.2 devices. So we are going to install in the 2280 slot, because that is the standard size for an M.2 NVMe. They also make the very tiny ones, which go like in a Steam Deck. But we got to put that in the 2280 slot, and then we will install that screw into the standoff, and our SSD will be installed. We're all tracking. I want my M.2 the long way. Dude, I think this is the long way. I think that's what we're doing, man. 2280 is above average at minimum, right? There we go. SSD is installed. Yeah, the Wi-Fi M.2s are tiny as well. Correct. All right, that's installed. Now, the last thing we got to do is the CPU cooler, which, like I said, this has been sitting on our shelves. Shout out to APNX for sending this to me like 2 years ago. I've still never used it, but we gonna use it today. I have no idea what's in here, other than obviously a CPU cooler, but I don't know what to expect. Wait, what? What the hell? Are you kidding me? What? Huh? What? am I looking at here, man? Is it? Dude, are you serious? This has been sitting... Dude, this is, like, extremely disappointing. This has been sitting on my shelf for, like, 2 years. And I've purposely... I'm not trying to be dramatic. I have purposely been not using this because I've been saving it for a black, silver, gunmetal style of build. I thought it was this color the entire time. This is black. All right. This is the AMD bag, Intel bag, backplate. Got a little APNX thermal paste. This is what we need right here. Is that a CPU frame? No, it's just a very old school bracket that is going to mount directly to our motherboard. And that is what we're going to install the fan on. I'll show you. Yeah, no, I don't have a Ventus GPU. A Ventus GPU would have looked perfect in this build. Now, I tried to use some of the parts that we already have. I mean, the Asus Prime is going to look good too, but yeah, you're right. A Ventus GPU would look beautiful. Although our build is not really gunmetal anymore. Or a lot less gunmetal than I thought it would be. Unfortunately. But yeah, those MSI Ventus cards are exactly black and like silver / gunmetal. That would be very cool. All right, so we're gonna put those on our little spacers. And then this guy sits like that. And then we're gonna install our screws onto this. This is a very like old school style of huge bracket that works with a bunch of different socket sizes. But it's got slots here for AM4 and AM5, so just a cost saving measure. Okay. All right, that's installed. We're gonna test out a little. I hope you guys are okay with that for a giveaway. We're gonna test out this little APNX thermal paste, or maybe actually. This thing looks sealed to the point. Yeah, that's gonna be too annoying to use. Never mind. There was like a plastic shield around there that was not perforated, so we're gonna use the good stuff. We'll put on some good thermal paste for our next giveaway winner. There we go. And now before we install this, we are definitely... This is a beefy CPU cooler though. That's good for a 5800 XT. We are definitely removing the peel. The peel is definitely removed, 100%. We definitely did not forget the peel. Actually, the peel is still stuck on me. I have not removed it yet. There we go. It's off. All right. This is a beefy CPU cooler. Not gunmetal, but beefy. No peel. Put that on like so. Get these threads started a little bit. We'll go back and forth to once again evenly apply that pressure on the CPU, and then we'll crank it down. Don't use air coolers. They fail during shipping. Well, I will say this is a pretty big cooler, and I definitely do not like shipping pretty big coolers. But they don't just default to failing. We have shipped plenty of PCs that are air cooled without them breaking. This is on the bigger and heavier side though. I will admit that. You got to be extra careful with these heavier coolers. This is exactly what can break while shipping because there's like so much leverage. I mean, that's a thick heat sink right there, heavy, that can crank down at the wrong angle and break your motherboard or pull the CPU out of the socket. But it's not, it still doesn't happen that often if you know what you're doing. But yeah, it sometimes can. We do have a daisy chainable ARGB connector, which we will utilize later. But yeah, that's it. This is our prepped motherboard, good to go. We have an Asus Prime B550, a Ryzen 7 5800 XT, 16 gigs of single channel RIP Jaws 5 DDR4 3200 megahertz. Got a 0.5 terabyte P310 SSD in there, and then we have our APNX non-gunmetal, dude, that's a shame, CPU cooler. But our motherboard is prepped. Oh wait, yeah, our motherboard's prepped and ready to go. We'll do the support bracket once it gets into the case. How does tandem OLED compare to QD OLED? I'm not super in the weeds of the different OLED types, but from what I've seen, I think tandem OLED is going to be, I could be wrong, I think it's going to be the default option that is the best of both worlds. I think that's the whole goal of tandem OLED, but I'm not 100% versed in it just yet. Nice shirt, bro. Thank you. Some might say it's the greatest shirt of all time. Miguel with the $5 super chat. I have a question. I'm running a Ryzen 5 5600X, 32 gigs of DDR4, and a 2070 Super. I want to upgrade the GPU. What should I get for 1440p? Staying with RTX. I mean, if you have a 5600X, I would go up to probably a 5070 in these tough times that we're in. I wouldn't go 5070 Ti. 5070, I mean, you would get a big upgrade going to a 5060 Ti even. I would get the 16 gig. Somewhere in that range if you want to spend the money. I think that still works with the 5600 right now. Especially since you have 32 gigs of DDR4, like just utilize the platform that you're on right now. I would do something like that. You only have a few options if you want to stick with RTX. It's just how much do you want to spend? I wouldn't buy a 5060 if your main goal is to game in 1440p. So it's really only 5060 Ti or a 5070. Unless if you want to buy used. All right, I'm going to start plugging these in. Who was the winner of the PC? TrailTech. One of our mods. He is graciously going to donate the PC to charity, though, which is very nice of him. But yeah, you guys are all now earning points towards this current giveaway PC that we're building right now. Why don't you sell any 9070 XT pre-builts? Good question. Yeah, that's a serious... oh, I need a SATA power cable before I forget. That is a serious gap in our pre-built lineup right now, especially that the pricing of AMD GPUs is actually getting better, not worse. Yeah, I would like to get a 9070 XT pre-built. I've made a couple videos recently talking about how good a value the 9070s and the 9070 XTs are. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we should have that at this point. I scored a 9070 XT for $620. That's really good. Yeah, there are some under $700 right now. I've been seeing a few at like 680, 690 right now. What UPS do you recommend? I almost exclusively buy APC UPSs. I've bought a few from CyberPower. I know CyberPower is like one of the top brands as well as APC. I have one, maybe two CyberPower UPSs that are like super annoying and like they randomly die, like just not fully functional. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. APC, I think, is the best brand for UPSs. Oh, I also have a trip light. I have a trip light at the bottom of my home server rack. That one works pretty well too. Trip light. I like trip light. But for like a desktop setup, I use the APC. And even at my last job when I was working IT, I bought dozens of the APC UPSs for everybody. Yeah, the APC 1500 VA, exactly that one. Yep. They've become extremely expensive. They used to be like 150 bucks. I think they're now like close to 300. They have significantly increased in price over the years. They used to not be bad. But yeah, that's usually the one I buy. All right, let's get out our GPU real quick. Again, this is the Asus Prime RX 9060 XT. Sorry again that I couldn't get you something more higher end for the streaming giveaway. Hopefully next one we can get something a little bit beefier. All right. Here's our Asus Prime. I love these Asus Prime cards. They make Asus Prime now for both NVIDIA and AMD, right? Pretty sure it's for both now. And this is just a beautiful, clean, black GPU with just a little bit of like white aesthetics around here. I really like this card though. I love the black Prime lettering over here. Well, the 5800 XT will not be the bottleneck. Exactly. Yep. And we have a really good power supply going in here as well. 850 watts, ATX 3.1. This build will be a prime candidate for a GPU upgrade next, for sure. Not that it needs it. The 9060 XT is still obviously very good, but everything else about this build will be able to handle a better GPU, but that's clean. I like that a lot. I love this. This is my favorite part. I like that so much. Asus Prime candidate. Exactly. The 9060 XT from XFX looks buns. I disagree. I like that card too. That card is super clean. It's kind of boring. Like if you're looking for GPU aesthetics, the XFX cards are kind of boring, but if you just want a clean all black or all white graphics card, I don't think anybody does it better than XFX. There we go. All right. We got a single 8-pin power connector required up at the top. Boom. Okay, save that for later. Now we can get out our... Oh wait, no, dude, we're not done. Dude, I forgot. It's been a while. I haven't installed the cable extensions yet. I completely forgot about these. We got to do this first. We might have a problem though. The aesthetics of this build are taking a dive because this only comes with clear cable combs, which I really don't want to have to use. I think I have some black combs. I don't know if I have enough though. And I might just only have the 16 pins. Yeah, see? I only have... This is my little, like, in case of emergency, break glass. CPU supply box. We got some 3D printed GPU sag brackets. We got some proper metal magnetic GPU sag brackets. Thermal wipes. Velcro. PWM extension cables. And cable combs here. I guess we could just use these and cut them. Is that the... That might be the strategy. So we'll take one for... Yeah, should we just do that? Scissors, yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so 2 for the 24 pin. 1 for the 4+4. And then maybe 2 for the GPU. Yeah, I guess we'll just cut them. That's why we have the supply box. That is exactly why we have the supply box. All right, so let's cable comb these first. Dear God, please no. You don't want me to cut them? This is why we have them, man. We don't want to use clear cable combs. Clear cable combs are ugly. We got to use the black ones. I don't know why they didn't come with black. Sorry, this is the most boring part of the build. You're gonna have to bear with me and just earn giveaway points while I cable comb this. Chi-Town with the 300 biddies says, hey, I'm currently in the middle of building my first PC as we speak, and I've been struggling for the past 3 hours. Can you help me? I don't know how effective I can be helping you, but maybe. I am trying to build a PC of my own right now. But, I mean, best of luck either way. I don't know what problem you're having. So I can't properly answer that question. Alright, there we go. There's 24 pin. Alright, let's cut these. Oh, we have the flush cutters. So this might actually be a pretty clean cut. Let's cut some 4-piece for the CPU. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to cut it like right here. Like that. Yeah, we got the flush cutter, so this should actually look pretty decent. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that makes a big difference using the flush cutters. Don't look at my thighs. That's clean, man. That looks OEM. There we go. Nice cut. Thank you. I'm gonna do that again. Over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that one more time. Bam. Oh, dude, I should have bought. You guys were telling me to buy 10 out of 10 cut. Thank you. You guys were telling me to buy flush cutters, which is what these are, for literal years, like probably for the 6 years I've been on Twitch. I should have listened to you a long time ago. It's just one side is flat and it just produces the cleanest cuts possible. I mean, just unmatched. These look OEM. I should have listened to you a while ago. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll cut a few for the yeah, I mean, these are just perfect cuts every single time. I actually don't, like, I used to hate doing this because I thought they looked ugly whenever I would DIY cut these, but these are beautiful. I'm just gonna cut, make sure we have enough here. Yeah, they all came out perfect. That's wild. You probably can't even tell that these were hand cut. I mean, they just look perfect. That's great. That gets me excited. Now we can do that more often. Okay. So here are the CPU connectors, which we have to cable comb. I haven't used cable extensions in a minute, which is a very weird thing for me to say. But it's been a while. My dude found hobby nippers. Is that what I should call them? I might have to, man. I mean, they're just so good. They're so much better than the diagonal cutters or scissors, or I've even done just a straight up razor blade for these. These are way better. I use those a ton for Warhammer. What do you cut for Warhammer? I know there's like the whole like miniature hobby, but like, what do you have to cut? Please enlighten us. Literally all of the minis off of the sprues. You lost me. I don't know what that means. Sorry. You could also design some 3D printing custom cable combs. I have done that before. I should keep them on hand, but I have these now. And now that I know that I can cut these perfectly, I don't have a use of 3D printing. All right, let's connect this 24 pin. Then we will connect, we just need one of the 8 pins for our graphics card. We don't need to use both. And then the 4+4 for the CPU. Okay, now our power supply is prepped and ready to go. We do not have to use these ugly clear cable combs. And we also don't have to use this extra 6+2 for the power supply. But I will ship that to whoever wins this PC, just in case if you need it one day. All right, time to get out our case, which we haven't talked about in quite some time, since the beginning of the stream. But again, this is the Montech TG3. This literally just launched like a week ago, but we got to try it out. Dude, that beer is not actually good. I don't think I'm going to finish that. I'm not vibing with that one at all. That's why we drink whiskey, especially as it's getting warmer. All right, let's get our IO shield here. You might need a loan for those extra 16 gigs of RAM, but live streaming, like while you're gaming and only having 16 gigs of RAM, I mean, if that's your only option, it's probably doable, but I would not recommend it. Who else wants to see another entry-level / basic home server build by Zach? You know, I do actually have some spots open in my home server rack. I've decided not to install my huge 4U height server that I had in Pittsburgh, because that was mostly for my home theater gaming PC that was in my server rack but hooked up to my projector. I no longer need that because my home server is not in the same location as our like movie theater room now. So I do have a little bit of room to play, if you will, in the home server rack. I could build a couple of 1U servers or maybe a 2U server. I'm not sure, man. I got some opportunities right now. Yeah, we have a if you look at my IG story, I post it every now and then, but we have a little bit of like a home theater setup in the house now. It's actually beautiful. It's very nice. But it's on the opposite side of the house where my home server is now. We used to have like a projector set up in our basement in Pittsburgh, and my home server was right next to that projector, so that was just the PC that we used. But that's not the solution now. Don't forget the SAG bracket. Oh, I would have forgot. Thank you. I did already forget. Thank you very much. I will do that next. I'm excited to see how the sag bracket works. Yeah, this is actually, for those of you that ship gaming PCs, this is a sag bracket that you should strongly consider if you need one. I really like it. We use it a lot for ZTT builds. I will show you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna uninstall the motherboard screws there and here. We do not need these because that is where our sag bracket is gonna go. So let me show you this. This is very cool. I really like this product. It's like 11 bucks or something. It's not expensive. This is the Lee & Lee GB002. It is a GPU sag bracket that installs into your motherboard. So the reason you would use this is if you're using some sort of setup, like some sort of case combination that doesn't allow for any other type of support bracket. I would not recommend using this over, you know, like a proper beefy sag bracket. Those will probably be better than this. But I didn't know when I decided on this case what the mounting solution was here. These are actually pretty big holes that I feel like I could install like a sag bracket on here, or you could definitely use a magnetic one. But I didn't know that ahead of time. I only saw these small holes, which you definitely can't install a sag bracket into. So I didn't know what the solution was. So that's why I got this sag bracket. And because we have a 3-fan GPU. Like you can't install a sag bracket over here unless if maybe a huge one. Or like a custom built one or something. But I wanted to support this beefy and long 3-fan GPU. So this is going to give it support right here at the end. Are we tracking so far? So this is how you do it. It's pretty cool. This is the main bracket. We'll leave that here. Let me get out some of these supplies. There are a lot of like little screws that you can use so you have options. These are the 2 main brackets. I'll show you that in a minute. But basically, hold on. Let me get this stuff out. These are the motherboard standoff screws that you install instead of the motherboard screws. So I'm going to plug these like big standoffs into the case standoffs. So instead of installing the motherboard screw to secure the motherboard, I'm going to be installing these instead. Okay. So I'm going to put one here. Like that. And I'm going to put one down here. And we can use a traditional like motherboard standoff adapter thing to make sure that those go tightly down. So those are still securing the motherboard to the case. But now we install this bracket. This bracket has holes at the top and bottom, which line up perfectly with this length. So that goes right across there. And now we can use 2 screws to secure this bracket onto those big standoffs that we just installed. The reason that those standoffs that we just installed are huge are because they need to be tall enough to get up and over anything that might be on the motherboard. So like for this motherboard, we have all of these SATA ports right here. I know it's hard to see with the light, sorry. But this bracket that we just installed is over top of all of those SATA ports right there. So now we have all of these holes. And what we do is we secure these things. There's two of them. Hold on, let it focus. We secure these into any of those holes on that bracket, and this is our SAC bracket. You can go above the GPU and below the GPU, and it kind of like sandwiches down. You can have it like this too, so they're the same size, and it sandwiches down like this right here. So I'm gonna wait until other things are installed, but then we do it like that, and then this kind of sandwiches the GPU and keeps it in place. It creates a SAG bracket directly from the motherboard. Does that all make sense? Are we all tracking that? It's a very cool little product for like 11 bucks. It also comes with that's really cool. It comes with these little rubber adhesives, so you can put that on these little guys that I showed you, which I will do in a little bit later, just so the GPU is resting on something soft. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little $11 device. Okay, so I'm just getting my bearings back here. It looks like we have quite a few cables, which seems to be the norm lately on Thirsty Thursday, which I'm not actually a huge fan of, but we're just gonna start plugging things in and hoping for the best. I got HD audio down here. Plug that in. See some USB-C action, which we want to plug in if we have it. We got USB-C? Yeah. We got USB-C. Polar with the Twitch Prime sub, thank you. All right, we got some USB 3.0 at the bottom. Plug that in. Maybe a 7600X3D. Yeah, if you live near a micro center, 7600X3D, that'd be really good. Yeah, I always forget to recommend micro center. Yeah, if you live near a micro center and you can take advantage of a bundle, you can get better than what I just said. That's me assuming that you do not have access to that. All right, we got these little power LED positive and negatives, whatnot. Micro Center's the GOAT. I agree. Okay, I'm having a problem here. I don't have enough fan headers. We got some weird fan headers like up at the top, which I don't want to use because that's just super ugly. So we only have one. Other than that, in the CPU cooler. So I am definitely going to need some sort of fan hub, which let's go back to the trusty PC supply box. I hope I have, yeah, look at that. That's why we have supply boxes, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little fan hub right here. I think we're gonna need it. I don't think there's any way for me to, they're not daisy chainable. Yeah, the PWM connectors are not daisy chainable. We only have two, because we got one for this like 360 contraption, which is all connected, and then we got one here in the back. But they are not daisy chainable, unfortunately. And yeah, there's just nowhere to, I don't want to plug it in up next to the SSD because that's just super ugly. So I guess I have to use a fan. Yeah, I don't want to, but it's kind of wasteful, but I gotta use it. I've got one just like that. Yeah, these are good. These are like $5. If you buy these on AliExpress, they're probably like $3. Yeah, this Asus Prime motherboard does not have a lot of good PWM options, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We gotta take what we can get, and this is it. So I will plug that hub into our one and only fan header down there. And then I will plug. This is the fan connector for the rear fan. And then this is the fan connector for that 360 fan up at the front. So I will plug that into each other, into the hub here, and then that is good to go. And then the only other thing we got to worry about is RGB. This RGB is going to plug into the motherboard. So let's do that. Hopefully that reaches. That's kind of a short cable. We have an RGB on the bottom. Oh, we do have an RGB on the bottom. We got RGB on the bottom. Oh, actually. Ooh. Wow, this is a prime candidate build for our SATA RGB. That way we can actually look at, I'm gonna take one of these too. Wow, we've really needed this box today. I'm gonna take one of these SATA powered devices. That way I can control the RGB without plugging into the motherboard. We're gonna use this today instead. We're gonna plug all of the RGB products into that. When we ship the PC for the giveaway, we'll just connect it to the motherboard. That way you can control your colors like normal. But for today's live stream, that will allow us to cycle through the colors without using software, because I am definitely not staying up late enough to install Windows and RGB software for this build. We're not gonna do all that. Okay. So what I can do is I'm gonna take, this is the RGB connector of the CPU cooler. I'm actually gonna unplug one of the RGB connectors going into that RGB hub that the fan came included with, or the case came included with. I'm gonna daisy chain them together and then plug that back into the case RGB hub, which I know you can't see. But that way, all of our RGB products are all synced up together. And then the RGB hub is going to plug into our little device. If I find it right here. Sorry, I know this is a lot of cable nonsense. Just know that it's under control, I think. The only thing that's not under control is the actual cable management, which looks atrocious right now. So we're gonna fix all that. That's the only thing that's not under control. So we need some serious zip ties. I'm lost? Yeah, sorry, we got a lot going on right now. All under control though, I think. How's the Minecraft server doing? It's good. It's good. I haven't played Minecraft since I moved. My kids have played for a couple times now. And it's working and up and running, and we didn't lose any data or anything, which is good. But I actually haven't played a single second of Minecraft since I got here. We've been just busy. Just a little bit busy. Those RGB SATA controls work great with older boards that don't have RGB connectors. Yeah, that's exactly what they're for. If you have a motherboard that doesn't have RGB, that's exactly what they're for. They used to be way more popular because, like, when RGB was becoming a thing, that was a lot of people's only option. These days, almost every motherboard has RGB. So I still just use them for situations like this, where if I want to show you guys on the live stream what the RGB colors can look like, I can do that without installing Windows. Because I never install Windows during these live streams. That would make these live streams so long. Okay. I'm just trying to tidy this up a little bit. This cable management is kind of crazy. Rusik with the 300 biddies says, I have a 10700F and an RX 9070 with 32 gigs of DDR4. What's a good CPU motherboard upgrade for better balance? Out of my build without having to buy DDR5 RAM, I would just go to AM4. Because you can't upgrade your 10700F and stay on Intel. Unless if you just go up to 11 series, which you don't want to do. Actually, I'm gonna adhesive that down right here. That looks good. So I would just go up to AM4. That way you can keep your DDR4 and spend as much money as you want, you know? I mean, with a 9070, I would go like at least a 5600X, you know? Ideally a 5800 XT or an X3D if you can get your hands on one, live near a micro center. So somewhere in that range is what I would do. And just keep your 32 gigs of DDR4. Okay. All right. This is starting to somewhat look cable managed. Not a lot, but somewhat. Somewhat cable managed. How are you liking the Texas heat? It's the only thing that's not great about this move. Totally expected, obviously. Yeah, it's quite hot down here, man. Who lives in hotter than 100-degree weather and humid every day? Who here lives in worse weather than that? More than 100 degrees every day. Well, it's been like 90, 98, I think. I don't think it's been quite 100. It's been the high 90s. Me. Florida is terrible. Further south in Texas, okay. H-Town, well, that's what I'm talking about. I am in H-Town as well. West Texas is the same heat but dry. Well, yeah, it's the humidity here in Houston that makes it feel a million times worse. I live in Mississippi, so it's about the same. Brazil? Over 100 in PA last week? Yeah, I heard PA had a huge heat spell or whatever. I don't know what the term is. I heard it got super hot in PA, which is wild. Glad we missed that. Heat wave, that's what I meant. Yeah, not spell, heat wave. Thank you. All right, there's only so much we can do with this cable management. This is not cooperating. Not cooperating at all. I gotta do a lot of standing for this type of project. Most of these cables are just gonna end up going hidden in this PSU basement under here. But I kind of just wanted to like take care of it a little bit. I don't know how effective this has been though. Doesn't look very effective. All right, let's start snipping these off. As a Philadelphian, PA has been very hot and humid lately. So I've heard. Today was 117 degrees. Dude, that's brutal. When I was deployed out to the Middle East, at one point I was in UAE for 4 months, United Arab Emirates, and it was 130 every single day for 4 months. It didn't rain a single day I was there. But it wasn't humid. It was dry heat. So I mean, it was still hot, obviously. But it wasn't like miserably hot. It was just hot. 130 every day. Let's install our GPU next in this above average sized PSU basement. Like so. Oh. Screw this in. I'm really going to walk in and buy a PC. I can't win the giveaways. Hey, we got local pickup. Oh, you guys don't know this. We enabled local pickup for ZTT builds now. I do have a video coming soon. I know most of you are into PC building, which I totally support, but for the people that are interested in pre-builts, you can now come pick them up at the ZTT HQ, which is pretty cool. You can just buy them online and then select pickup so you don't have to pay for shipping. And you can come check out the studio. We'll show you that the PC is working and looking good. And you just grab it. Let me come from Colorado. There you go, man. Just don't drive too far, because I don't want the PC to break on your way home. We're gonna help you keep it secure and whatnot, but don't drive too far, because then you don't get the benefit of not having to worry about shipping, because you are the shipper. DIY forever, definitely support that. That's the preference. That's my preference. But there are people that just a pre-built is the better option, or the only option. So we got to help those people out too. All right, 24 pin is plugged in, or no, sorry, the 4+4 is plugged in. And now I'm gonna plug in the 24 pin, and we're gonna see our gunmetal color scheme start coming to life, or at least what could have been if the CPU cooler wasn't completely fake news. It's probably still gonna look good, but not as good as I was envisioning. And then we also need the GPU, which can come up through here. Like so. Like that. All right. And then we can't forget about our SATA. We have a couple of SATA powered devices. We have that RGB thing that I was yapping about. And then we also just have the normal RGB hub that was included with the case. We got to plug that in via SATA as well. Okay. So now we can start hiding some of these cables. What's this PC for? This is the next giveaway PC. So we already raffled off the previous one, which we do about every 6 weeks. Trail Tech was the winner. Now, that was our 18th giveaway PC. This is now our 19th giveaway PC. So for the next 6 weeks, including this stream, you are now earning points towards this giveaway build, which I'm currently assembling. And then in about 6 weeks from now, we don't have the date yet, but it's usually about 6 weeks, we will raffle this one off and then build the next one. That's just what we do, man. Every 6 weeks or so, we raffle off the next giveaway build. And in between those, we'll do the BBZs. Next week, we're going to do BBZ Numero Tres. BBZ Numero Dos is actually on the website now if anybody wants it. We just posted that one. If anybody wants my BBZ, that one, don't clip that. It is available though. My BBZ is available. The first one sold very quickly. Shout out to whoever bought BBZ numero uno. What's BBZ? Dude, BBZ? Come on now. BBZs are the built by Zach PCs. On these live streams, when I'm not doing a giveaway PC, I'm building a BBZ. So it's just a unique one-of-one build that I put together during a live stream, and then we sell it. We also create some really cool artwork to go along with it. Using the hardware boxes of the exact build that you buy, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I just build PCs on these live streams and then put them up on the website. Those are the BBZs, man. I don't know what you guys are thinking of, but when we say BBZs around here, that's what we're thinking about. Here's the cable management. Not entirely done building, but this is about what it's going to look like. Just got most of the stuff down here. A couple little 3 lanes of wires here. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not amazing, though. Okay. So now, let's uninstall these GPU brackets first, or these PCIe brackets, I should say. Who even is Connor? Connor McGregor. Like, is that rage bait? That might be rage bait. We're good. That might be rage bait. Rich with Twitch Prime sub, thank you. Appreciate that. Love the new background. Appreciate that. This is our 3rd stream now in the Texas. This is my house. This is my home office. We haven't streamed from the new Texas HQ yet. It's actually set up for streaming. When I eventually start having guests on Thirsty Thursday, that's where we're going to stream from. I want to get an AverMedia. Yeah, I've paid for those. AverMedia sent me like a capture card years ago, but I've paid for these new ones. AverMedia is definitely my go-to. I like AverMedia capture cards more than... Oh wait, yeah, they have a new one too. Their new USB-C capture card, I got 2 of them. That one's really good. I like their products better than Elgato. For me, over my years of streaming, they've been just way more consistent, more reliable. All right, GPU is in. Gonna install these screws before we do with that sag bracket, which will help us, especially for shipping. We don't have crazy sag right now. But this would be a tough PC to ship, which we will do. So we're going to install the sag bracket. What GPU? This is an RX 9060 XT. Just the 8 gig, but still solid. There we go. Yeah. I like the color scheme. We got this black and silver and gray gunmetal style. It's just the CPU cooler did not come up clutch, unfortunately. Huge letdown on the CPU cooler, but I actually really like everything else. This color scheme is pretty solid. But before we turn it on and whatnot, let's install that sag bracket, which I showed you. Okay, so as a reminder, can't really see it, but we installed this bracket on the CPU cooler, or I'm sorry, not the cooler, on the motherboard. And that's going to allow us to install this thing, which is a GPU sag bracket. First, I am going to take one of these adhesives, just standing up to get close to the camera here, if it'll focus. I'm gonna put the adhesive on here, like that. That way the GPU is resting on something soft. And then I can install this thing wherever I want on that bracket that we installed earlier to keep it nice and supportive. I don't know how well you can see this, sorry. But I'm gonna want it like this. Oh, just dropped it. I'm gonna want it all the way out here. This is gonna be tough to do from this angle. This. Like that. And we're gonna use 2 screws to make sure it's nice and secure. And then we have this little sag bracket right here. This is actually, I don't know if anybody's picked up on this from all the yapping I've been doing, but this little Lee & Lee $11 sag bracket is the same sag bracket that Lee & Lee usually integrates into their cases. So a lot of the new Lee & Lee cases that are coming out, this is like the bracket system that's just built into the case. I don't think we'll be able to get the top one. I think we just have the bottom. Yeah, we don't have enough room for... Oh no, we could actually do the bottom. Yeah, we could do the top. I can get a screw in there. That way we really like sandwich down the GPU and keep it into place. I'm not doing this just for the aesthetics of the GPU sag. This is just to make a 3-fan GPU easier to ship. Because there's no like base over here for a sag bracket. You could put one here. That would work. But shipping 3-fan GPUs can be a little risky. So an extra sag bracket like this will really help in shipping, because we will eventually ship this PC to whoever wins it. Boom. So now the GPU has a sag bracket like clenching down on it. So during shipping, it's not going to go up or down. That thing is solid. That all make sense? Holy bald spot. Thank you, man. Just trying to hide it. I guess I failed. I was trying, man. I thought I could get away with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this second screw in, though. The GPU is just a little too big for this, I think. Might be able to. Bald spot still rocking? Dude. Yeah, I don't know if this... Yeah, I don't think that second screw is not going to happen, but we're still good. There we go. Again, I don't know how well you can see this on camera. Try and raise it up here. See how we have the sag bracket on the top, but more importantly, on the bottom. See how that's in there now? That keeps it nice and secure, especially during shipping. Whew. A little bit of extra work, but it's worth it. Let's pick an RGB color before we button this thing up. Before I install that rear fan, or that rear panel, we need to press some buttons back here on that RGB selector thing we installed to pick the best RGB. So this is streaming giveaway number 19, which you guys are currently earning points for. Oh. Oh. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think green might have hit. Look at this. Dude, that looks so good. That looks really good. Oh my God. I love that. That looks incredible. All right, let's see. Let's go through them all, dude. Dude, I think green might hit. Why is that button not working? Why isn't it changing? My selector isn't working. Oh no. It's not changing. I don't know why. Oh, this might be a broken one. I'm starting to like just now remember. I feel like I have a broken RGB selector. Hold on, let me unplug this and see if it... Yeah, it's broken. My bad. My bad. We're gonna go with green. We're gonna go with green for now. We'll plug into the motherboard when we ship the PC. That way you can change the color to whatever you want. But yeah, we'll just look. Good thing I like the green one. We'll just lock in the green for now, dude. That looks clean. That looks really good, actually. I like. Again, the goal was this to be silver, and that matches this. That didn't happen. Fake news. But we do have like the black and the gray cable extensions. Dude, that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty good. I like it. All right, let me turn this off real quick, and then I'll install the back panel, and then we'll properly wrap this build up. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this RGB thing is busted. I kind of remember not replacing that. I'll get that figured out tomorrow. Either way, there's the back panel, not being forced at all. And yeah, the giveaway PC is complete, ladies and gentlemen. Green. We're gonna go with green today. I like it. Anybody have a guess on the zip tie count? Where's the button? Where's the button? I should have just got up. There it is. Boom. Dude, that looks good. I really like that. I actually really like that. Like this power supply basement is so clean. I really wish that this was silver. That would have really tied together the whole color scheme. Successful build. Ready to go.